Okay. Welcome to ATM Welcome to ATM Society Watch. This is a program where we ventilate societal issues, give them aggregate attention with a view to provide solutions that will benefit humanity. On today's Society Watch, we'll be looking at numbers of issues starting from Ocean State, Celestial Church of Christ, evangelist killed by assistance over woman. Kaduna State bandits kidnapped 280 pupils from schools at Kariga. On child abuse, group bemoan rise in sexual abuse of male child. On education, I'll help reduce out-of-school children with insurance policy. That's from NCRB presidents. I will introduce my guest to you when we return from this short break. Do stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATM.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. You can join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. You can watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Joining me in the studio this afternoon for this conversation is Dr. Dadom Yako. He is a social commentator, financial expert, also public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Dadom Yako.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Wow, your name is quite a rhyme. Thanks for joining me in the studio this afternoon.
It's a pleasure.
All right, let's look at the first story from Ocean State. A tragic incident occurred at the Grace of Comfort Parish of Celestial Church of Christ in Ile-Ife, Osun State, where the altar, a sacred place for prayers, became a scene of violence. Most senior evangelist Maurice Fadam, the shepherd of the church, was allegedly killed by his assistants, Lekan Ogundipe, following a series of disagreements between them. Ogundipe reportedly ambushed Fadan within the church premises while the latter was praying at the altar. Ogundipe allegedly stabbed Fadan multiple times in the head, drove a nail through his ear and nose, and then dragged his lifeless body off the altar, wrapped it in clothes, and set it on fire. A source indicates that Fadan made frequently complaints about Ogundipe behaviors, particularly regarding money and immorality. He had repeatedly vowed to stop Ogundipe from assisting him, but only after receiving approval from the church elders. Olarife said the disease had reported to me that he was to disengage Lakan as his assistant over many unlawful acts. Most recent of them include an assault on a prophetess in a church last Wednesday, when I agreed with him, but he added that he would take the decision after consulting with the elders. It was said last Wednesday morning, after Ogundipe has opened the church, I decided to sweep the floor when he started talking to me, but I refused to respond. He then started harassing me. I quickly told him to stay away from me and that he should stop telling people that we are dating, because I was not having any intimate relationship with him beside church issues. Rather than stop, he beat me with a cane, which resulted in a fist fight until the elderly woman had to fed in to wedding and rescued me from his grip. Afterward, the shepherd came around, heard the incident, and scolded him for involving himself in such a mess. He even threatened to kill me before he was asked to leave the church area. Following the incident, it was gathered that the shepherd collected the church keys from him, an incident that did not go well with Ogundipe, his word. While I was about eating on Monday evening, one Lekan came to the house and told me the deceased body was on fire, that he was lifeless on the floor. My wife and I drove to the church with him, where he found the deceased partly burnt inside the church. Other members of the church within the vicinity were also attracted to the scene. While inspecting the church vicinity, we discovered blood stain on different parts of his body and cut. When we asked Lekan about the blood stain, he attempted to run, but it grabbed him and locked him in my car before calling the police. We unwrapped the deceased pastor's body and discovered that there were nails in his ear and several cuts on the head and neck before we took the body to the morgue at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital in Ile-Ife. Meanwhile, Lekan later confessed to the police that he perpetrated the crime because of dispute with the disease. This is quite unfortunate, and to start with, we are actually talking about a church, all right? A Celestial Christ Church in Osun State. You killed your pastor because he stopped you from harassing women. A woman. Of course, the pastor said this person in question, that's Lekan, has been having unnecessary issues with women in church, and not just this, but again, he couldn't stand it. He wanted for peace to reign. I don't want to work with this person again. And all he could do was to inflict this kind of, not just pain, kill the man, putting nails in his ear, several cuts on his head, and all of those things. I mean, this is quite inhuman. What's your take on this?
It is quite unfortunate that this kind of thing is happening now, and not just anywhere on the altar of a church. You see, I've always told people that we can disagree without being disagreeable. In a church, when you were reading the message, when you are reading this text, you mentioned that this person had already informed some of the leaders of the church. And I believe the church should have been proactive enough by, dealing with the situation according to the rules and regulation of the church. But in this case now, the harm has already been done. The name of the church is being dragged, to the public for this kind of issue. It is not good for the church. Then, secondly, the state, because this is a murder case. This is a murder case, and the law will take its due course. He that kills, I think there are stipulations in the law in dealing with this kind of situation. Not just in the law, even in the rules and regulations governing the particular church. So the law should take its course, investigation and probably autopsy, because it's normal in this kind of situation for the police to do an autopsy. They should carry it out and he should be charged. And if found guilty, by a competent court of jurisdiction or court of law, he should face his own music. But I think this should be a call to the church and the body of area. They should observe before you employ somebody, because a church is supposed to be the last, more like the hope of the worshippers. A church like this should employ people who have requisite integrity. They should pass integrity test before you are employed, either as a head or an assistant in a church, to forestall this kind of occurrence. I think it is not good for our nation, especially this time around.
Dr. Yako, you're saying that the church should employ people with integrity. Of course, you know that as long as blood flows in you, can return. Integrity is not written on the face. If I'm coming to your organization to work, and I know that these are the rules, I'm supposed to act in certain manner, do you know that there is every tendency that one can act in a particular before you see the other side of them? And this is a church. We believe that church is an hospital. You see the good, the bad, and the ugly. So they will always say Jesus did not die for the righteous, but for the unrighteous. So you don't accept people into church because they are perfect. You bring them in whether they are perfect or not. Of course, no man is perfect. So when you have to start checkmating this. People will ask questions. Eyebrows will be raised. Is church now meant for the righteous? They will start asking questions. So at this point, in this kind of scenario, what do you do?
The church has a structure. The church now is a structured organization. Before you become an employee of a church now, you have to undergo interview. Some background checks could have been undertaken in order to check your track record. This person has a track record of violence. I think this is what the church, because the role that the person was employed for is a kind of leadership role. For you to assist a pastor in that capacity means that in the absence of the pastor, you could also act, or the pastor can even delegate some responsibilities to you to act. So it means that it is a leadership role, and you cannot, the blind cannot lead the blind. If a blind man leads the blind man, the both of them will fall into the pit. So before you are employed to become a church leader, there are processes, even there are steps laid out in the Bible. The bishop of the church, in this case the leader of a church. So I think this should be an eye-opener to other churches to begin to have a self-review, self-evaluation of the workers in their ministries, the staff on their payroll, to avoid this kind of situation. Because dragging the name of the church, right now, this is sacrilegious event that has happened. Because this thing happened right on the altar. And God is very serious with any issue that has to do with spilling, blood, human blood. It is not easy for a mother, to conceive 9 months, cater for a child, the child becomes an adult. Because of minor disagreement, we come and take the life of the person. I mean, from your narration, this is just a minor disagreement that happens.
A minor disagreement?
Yeah. Why would this young man go to that extent of
a priest?
It is bad. So because it's bad, I think the society, the government should swing into action by charging him. He should be charged to court, and the law should take its due course.
Thank you, Dr. Yako. All right, let's go straight to the next story for today from Kaduna State. Over 280 pupils and teachers from government school, secondary school and Laird Primary School in Kurika, Kaduna State, were adopted by bandits on Thursday, sparking national outrage. Various organizations, including the Jamastus, Nasiri Islam, Amnesty International, and Parent Teachers Association of Nigeria, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, and the House on the attack and call on the government to rescue the victims immediately. Sani Abdullahi, a teacher at government school, secondary school Kurika, recounted the account and stated that approximately 280 pupils and teachers were taken by criminals. He mentioned contracting the National Security Advisor Nuhu Rabadu about the situation and reported that security forces had initiated a search for the adopted individuals. Narrating his audio during the government's visit, Abdullah said, "I resumed school today at exactly 7:47 p.m. I entered the acting principal's office and signed. All of a sudden, the acting principal asked me to look at my back, and when I turned, we discovered that bandits had surrounded the school premises. We became confused. We didn't know where to go. Then the bandits asked us to enter the bush, so we obeyed them because there were many, and the pupils, who were about 700, were following us. So when we entered the bush, I was lucky to escape alongside many other people. So I returned to the village and reported what happened to the community. So immediately our vigilantes and the personnel of the Kaduna State Vigilante Service followed the bandit, but the vigilante did not succeed. The bandit killed one of the vigilantes. We just buried him a short while ago." Atija explained that the vigilantes were making an effort to identify those kidnapped by the bandits. It was when we came back from that pulpit that we briefed the village head and we started making efforts to know the numbers of pupils and teachers taken away by the bandits. The GSS Kuriga 170 students were presently missing. In the primary school, 125 pupils were initially missing, but 25 of them escaped and returned home, he recounted. According to him, over 280 pupils and teachers were taken away. It was also gathered that the head teachers of the school, as well as some other staff members, were among those adopted by the hoodlums. It was learned that the incident happened around 8 a.m. shortly after morning assembly. Shortly after the assembly, the pupils in their 100 ran out of their classes after sighting the hoodlums in a large number on the school premises. They ran in different directions. A resident, Adamo Shehu, told one of our correspondents on the telephone. He said, "In my capacity as your elected governor, I am assuring you that by the grace of God, all the children will return unhurt. Before coming here, I spoke with the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhura Badu, and we are making efforts. The security forces have sworn into action, and by God's grace, we will rescue the children." This is quite unfortunate, but Dr. Yaka, looking at this, now, Gurika was the same village not quite long ago where a principal was adopted and, killed, and the wife was adopted. And this came less than weeks after kidnapping of over 200 IDPs by Boko Harams in the IDP camp in Borno State. And then, after this Borno incident, both the federal and Borno State governments have remained silent so far. And then Dr. Mike Ikene, the Secretary General of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, said something concerning this incident, that if such kidnapping continued in school, that NUT would have to be fully involved. And I've been pondering about what he said. I just told you that not quite long, last week, a principal in that particular community was killed while the wife was kidnapped. And then we saw another issue that happened that in the IDP, over 200 persons were taken away from the camp. And he's saying that if this kind of thing happen again, they will come in. When are they planning? Is it when they carry the whole community? Is it when they carry the whole village that they will come in? I'm just surprised. Yes, they might not do little or nothing because, you know, security personnel in the community is more like they've not done anything. And they equally said that if they have a state police, that they would have at least gotten a signal before this happened. Does that mean that we do not have community in the village? A lot of questions to be asked. But I want to find out, what is your position on this story?
This is heartbreaking and traumatic. I can imagine what the parents of these pupils will be passing through right now. But my worry is that this is a recurrent event within the community and within that locality. Does it mean that the village does not have a village head? Is there no government within the local government? What are the roles of the youth leaders, the political leaders within that area, within that terrain? Because from the recurrent nature of this ugly event, it seems to me that kidnapping in that particular area has become a lucrative business. And since it's a lucrative business, there may also be vested interest in that business. Now, the primary role of government is to, secure lives and property. I tell you, from this event, from this ugly incident, I think the government has failed, especially the social contract it signed with the people. How can this kind of incident happen within a community? This number of persons were taken away from the community. I believe this thing happened. This thing didn't just happen within the space of maybe 1 minute.
They walk majestically to the school.
Yes, this thing couldn't have happened within the space of 1 minute. Are there no phones
exactly
for people to make calls, to ask, to inform the security agencies? Now, I believe they use a particular part. Are there no presence of security in that locality, especially a locality that is known for this kind of crime? A lot of questions. But my greatest concern goes to the parents of these pupils. Because for you to send your pupils to school, your child to school, is for that particular child to have a better future. But imagine the scar, this kind of traumatic experience will live on the life of these pupils. Seeing guns, seeing men, ugly men and maybe women with guns, something that maybe you've heard about but you've not seen. Imagine the kind of impact it will have on your, mental health. So I think it is high time that the government, the local chiefs, the stakeholders, the critical stakeholders of that locality take security of their people seriously, because security is not a one-man's business.
Okay, now I remember the same, I think it was still in Kaduna State, where we saw a story where one person had to recount how, the ordeal of the adoption. She said that in a particular bush, when it's night, they will carry them and put in a particular place because they know that that place is full of reptiles. So it will just climb on them, bite them, and all of those things. So when they face these kind of issues, they will be forced to call someone so that they can come and rescue them. And they also said the kind of forest in this kind of places has really made people to feel that, okay, they have hideouts in order to adopt. Yes, we know about deforestation, we know about climate change and all of those, and we know that, of course, we need trees around. But is there no way they can just get rid of those bush and forests and all of those? Because it seems that is the only places that hide. If it is riverine area, we'll say, okay, they can go beyond in the water or something. But that, since it's forest, can't they do something?
Actually, these areas, these are difficult terrains. You cannot deforestate maybe a particular region that has been known. In fact, some of these forests have existed for years, hundreds of years, and it's not just easy for you to come. And the land mass too is huge. It is not just easy for you to come and, you know, clear it. It is impossible. But I think with proper intelligence, you know, security intelligence, this kind of incident can be averted.
Sorry, you said it's impossible. Is it that some rituals have to be carried out, or?
No, not that some rituals have to be carried out. Imagine a terrain, maybe to, I don't know if you have been to the north.
Yes,
If you have been to the north, for you to, let's say you drive from here to, let's say, Bayelsa, from Port Harcourt here to Bayelsa, on a bush.
Yeah.
Okay, how long will it take you to clear it? And these are people, remember, these criminals are people that they understand the terrain. They understand the working of the terrain. So, and this brings us to the issue of the state police that some people have been advocating. State police, people who know the terrain, and not just policemen who have been posted from one side to the other, one place to the other. So it calls for community ownership of security, community ownership of the lives of their people. This is the only thing that can, you know, avert future reoccurrence.
So you think the state police will go a long way to avert, or if not completely mitigate, this issue of kidnappings in states?
It is not going to be very easy to mitigate it. It's not going to be very easy for any government to stop it. At least you will still have it, but gradually it can be reduced because, as I said, kidnapping is an organized crime. It's an organized crime. If you've ever communicated with someone who has been kidnapped, of course, I will not ask you whether you've been kidnapped or not.
No,
because God forbid, God will not agree that.
Yes,
It's a traumatic experience. But if you've ever had contact with somebody who has been kidnapped, there are stages. In fact, they have specialists. They have the people that will pick the victim. They have the people that will, you know, shelter the victim. They have the group that will be responsible for feeding the victim. They have professional negotiators that will negotiate, you know, the ransom.
And they have women there.
They have women. That's what I'm saying.
Mothers of tomorrow.
They have people. They have people. So it's an organized crime with vested interest. So it's not just something. A lot of people have been feeding fat from this crime.
Dr. Yako, we have local vigilantes.
Yes.
All right. These are the people that knows the terrain of the community. So if they have to bring a state police in, what are those things that the state police would do that the local vigilantes cannot do, aside ammunitions and firearms now?
You know, the state police will have a direct backup of the law. Though the vigilantes sometimes too, in some of the places too, they have, you know, the direct backup of the law too. But it's not as when it is legitimized.
Okay.
For example, now, the vigilante now, they are not, I don't think they are permitted to shoot a criminal.
But can they equip them to do that?
You can, no, they can equip them to do that, but they are not trained. They are not trained like...
Why can't they train them? Because if they have to bring state police in, they will definitely have to train them.
Yes.
Right? They will have to equip them, and they will make it legal. So why can't they do that to the state vigilantes?
No, they are, most of the state vigilante groups are trained, but not to the extent that the Nigerian police are being trained. The Nigerian police is a structured organization, disciplined, well trained.
Okay.
So the period of training a policeman undergoes before, you know, going into service cannot be compared with that of a vigilante. So,
all right. Thank you so much, Dr. Iyako. I think I'm really fond of that name. This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. We'll just go on a very short break. Do stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATM.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. Honorables, you
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network, and still in the studio with me is Dr. Dadon Iyako. And now to the rest of our stories. Stakeholders in the prevention of sexual and gender-based violence has expressed concern over a rise in reported cases of sexual abuse against male children in the country. They call for careful action to address this growing trend before it escalates further. Josephine Efa Chukwuma, the convener and executive director of the Project Alert on Violence Against Women, noted, "We have observed an increase in reports of sexual violence against male children, a trend we haven't seen before, with cases involving young boys being sexually abused. When we are talking about sexual and gender-based abuse, most times the victims are women and young girls. We should not be blind to the fact that men and young boys are also going through it. The way things are going, there is a lot of sexual violence against the boys going on, not to talk of even men in their homes. When there is a problem and it is not being tackled meticulously, there is a tendency that the problem will be maturing. We are hearing about the case of men being killed in their homes. We have it. That is why we are talking about the Lagos State government that despite the existing law, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act at the federal level is more encompassing and expand the definition of the rape for the penetration of the vagina to any offering, which include the anus, ear or nose, and that is what covered boys. We can't joke with these things because the more we treat them with kid glove, the more the monster grow. There is still a whole lot to do in that regard because we still see and hear victims saying we leave it to God. When a victim makes such a statement, that is not the first choice. It is because they are frustrated and tired. So we look at the victim's experiences on the police station. What is the time frame of reporting to the response to moving to the DPP's office? When does the court and how long does it take? So that is why this project is called Integrated Response, she added. He said we are having an increase in reporting. It may not be in the media for so long, but this is true because we have been in the background getting information. Although it started spiking about 5 to 6 years ago, it was steadily increasing, but now it has reached to a crescendo point where everybody is becoming aware, including the media. Alogba, who is represented by Justice Rahman Oshodi of the Lagos High Court, said if victims come forward to report, the investigators will do their work and the prosecutors will do their work. I believe that the concerted effort, then the audacity will be managed to an extent in the society. But if the crimes are not reported, there is a likelihood that there will be a repeat of offense. That is why we are read in the newspaper how the crimes is prevalent in the society. We must make effort to ensure that each case is investigated, each offense is brought to a justice, and that way we can reduce its prevalence. Well, there is one thing that we've always heard, sexual abuse, like they stated here, that is mostly about girls. When we're talking about sexual abuse, we look at women, minors, and all of those. But now that saying that is, of course, is really affecting men, your gender in the society. But it's quite unfortunately that unfortunate that men do not speak. We, the society, I think they have confinement to a point that they feel that man don't cry, something like that.
Yes.
So because of that, even when they go through abuse, sexual abuse, they tend to keep quiet. And of course, we have seen women abuse their husbands at home. We have seen girls abusing their boyfriends, and a lot has gone on in the society. But because of this popular saying, man don't cry, and they don't speak up, they tend to suffer all of this in their hideouts, in the secret. So what do you have to say about that?
Actually, it's I tell people when people say it's a man's word, that in Nigeria, it's a woman's word.
Amazing.
Yes. Countless number of men are going through different abuses, from women on a daily basis. But, the society sees men as super beings. So, for example, now, there is a lot of stigma associated with when a man comes out to, report case of abuse. Imagine me now coming out to report that I've been beaten seriously. My wife, God forbid, is beating me, or my girlfriend is beating me on a daily basis. People will begin to laugh at you. Look at this man. You are a weakling. They will call you all sorts of names, that you are a weakling. But that is what you are passing through, is abuse. So most women who have, upper hands in relationship, in friendship, are actually abusing men. Men are going through a lot in this country. Abuse we are talking about here is not necessarily, physical abuse.
Is it majority or minority?
Sorry?
Is it majority of men are going through a lot in Nigeria, or minority?
Yes, majority of men are going through a lot in Nigeria.
So they don't speak up because of pride, or because they just want to have this saying that men don't cry?
No. One, because of pride. Secondly, because of the societal, perception of a male child or of men. Right now, in fact, for me, the worst form of abuse you can give me is verbal abuse. Men are going through all sorts of verbal abuse from the hands of women. Women's mouth at times is more strong. I don't know what to compare with it. The words from their mouth. A woman, if you do anything, you can offend a woman. If she decides to retaliate, just a single word that will come out of her mouth to you, it will be as if she has been with you for years. And that word will pierce directly into you. So it's another form of abuse. Especially now that the country, we are really passing through hardship in the country. Imagine a woman coming to tell you that, this one, you call yourself man. They call yourself man. You think manhood is now defined by just being, having the manhood. You call yourself man. Can't you see where men are doing something? Can't you see Papa Nkechi? Can you see Papa Barisi? I don't know if you are getting it. So this is another area of abuse that men don't report. But a lot of them are going through traumatic experience in the hands of, either their wife or the ladies, the women.
So now that you feel that the society has structured men to a particular level where they don't have to speak up when they are being abused because of pride and because they don't want the society to abuse them, what do you think it should be done to be able to make them to start talking whenever they go through issues? Because it seems it's mostly women, because a little things, we are on the emotional side. So when it happens, we just walk in to get to someone, talk to someone about it. But you see a man, they will always remain in their shell. So what should be done for you people to begin to come out to talk?
I think, one, we need gender-based groups to begin to speak for the right of the male child. Then we need gender-based groups to begin to advocate for the right of men, because it is serious. So it is very, very serious. For example, let me tell you something. If you attend an interview with a girl, with a lady, as a man, you don't be surprised that that lady, even if you have what to offer, and that lady even has, less to offer, they may even take that lady before you. Imagine now if two of us are walking on the road now. Even if rain is falling, we see a car, we just jump, vroom, and they will pick you, the lady, leaving the man to his fate.
Maybe it's because you people say that women are weaker vessel, and then a man is a super, So
it is not so. It is not so. I think we need right advocates to begin to speak for the rights of the men.
That is why you're here.
Yeah, because one, when it has to do with sexual abuse, a lot of male children are going through sexual abuse from the female. But the challenge there is that, how will you prove it? If you come out now and say, I have been raped by Auntie Vero or Auntie this, people will begin to look at you, you rape. You enjoy it. Don't say you were. I don't know if you are getting me. Look at you. I beg. Maybe we hear something. Instead of you to say you had fun, you are saying anti-vero, anti-this thing. Meanwhile, most of our children are being raped on a daily basis. Male children are being raped on a daily basis by their caregivers without the knowledge of their parents. So it is high time that one, the government has to put in place the necessary laws for the protection of the rights of the male child. I'm not a right advocate, but I think for the purpose of this discussion, I'm not a gender-based advocate.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not a gender-based person. I believe that the society is for all of us. So, but for the purpose of this discussion, I believe that the male child, there has to be, protection laws to protect the rights of the male child.
All right.
And not, it should not be every time the women. And let me tell you something. There was a place that I was staying before. Now that compound, there was this couple. Every now and then they will be fighting. And what you will hear, because of societal stigma on the men, what you will hear every time that they are fighting, you hear the man's voice. I will kill you today. I will kill you today. I will kill you today. If you run to that spot where they are fighting, you will see the man under. Meanwhile, the woman is on top, hitting. But just to find the ego of the man, while suffering under the serious beating of the wife, he is still shouting,
Okay.
I will kill you today. I will kill you today. And severally, this man was being rescued from the hand of this woman. But instead of coming out, instead of shouting that, look, oh, my wife is killing me, oh, my wife is beating me, oh, please, you both should come and rescue me. Oh. He is still under, saying that I will kill you, my wife, I will beat you, you will see today.
All right, men, it is time to speak up. If you find yourself in a very tight corner, I think you should reach out to someone. Man's war is man's war, men's war, men don't cry, a man don't cry. All of those is nothing. You just have to speak up. All right, the last story for today. Babatunde Oguntade, the president of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Broker, has highlighted the potential for insurance policy to mitigate the issues of out-of-school children in Nigeria. During the investors of the 14th Western Area Committee, chairman of the council, Gafa Akindele in Oshobo, he emphasized that adopting insurance policy can minimize risks across various sectors. Oguntade stressed the importance of stakeholders prompting insurance uptake as a strategy to reduce risks in both businesses and human capital development. Catastrophics will always create setback. Losses will create back, be it economic, be it manpower. When you have such thing, the best antidote to all of this is insurance at both the macro and micro level, such that even petty traders can get indemnified with losses occur. When breadwinners die, if they take life insurance, life can continue without them. Children will continue to go to school. We can reduce the number of out-of-school children and the number of beggars in the system. When businesses break down due to losses, we have policies and insurance that can continue to put business in place. I think today is saying that with the insurance policy that it will reduce the out-of-school children. Of course, it is said that the least person in the society can actually fix in when it has to do with insurance. But looking at the situation that security-wise we are not even safe, yes, we understand what he's talking about. Even with the insurance, what is the possibility that people will still want to embark in school in some community, in some part of Nigeria, and looking at what is going on now, the economic hardship and all of those?
First of all, his idea is a good one in a senior society where there are institutions regulating, behaviors. Because Nigeria ranks very low in human capital development. And in the human capital development, we are talking about education is a key component. And that is why Nigeria currently has one of the highest, according to UNESCO, one of the highest out-of-school children in the world. So if policies like this, insurance like this, if policies like this can be taken advantage of, I think it will mitigate that. But the question to ask is, have the insurance firms, have they built the required confidence in the, investors? How sure are they that investors, when they invest in their business, or when they come for insurance, either insurance or life assurance, their money is safe? How sure are they that when situations like this come up, when situations of risk like this come up, they'll be indemnified? How sure are they? So it's because of this, because this is a country where most times, not all the times anyway, most times people commit crime and go away with it. You can invest, and somebody will run away with your money and go scot-free. So that confidence level that is required to attract investors into investing in insurance business is key for this. But if this is achieved and this particular policy is taken advantage of as proposed by this person, I think it will help our education level and it will increase our school enrollment.
So what's your advice to the people out there?
My advice to the people out there is that they should take advantage of, insurance policies like this, but they should look very well before they leave. Especially now that the country is passing through these hard times, because it's very difficult to make money, but it is not good for you.
It's easy to lose it.
Yes, it's easy to lose. So it's not good when you have suffered to, make money, and someone will just go away with your money like that. So you have to seek the advice of your financial expert, insurance brokers, professional insurance brokers, financial expert, before investing. I think that is key.
All right.
But insurance is a good thing.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Yako.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, I am Immaculate Ibrekana. If you miss out, you can join us on all our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, Atlantic TV News. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. You can get up from Play Store, Atlantic Television Network, YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching, and continue to stay connected on ATM Socials. Till we come your way next time. Good afternoon.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. Honourable human trafficker. Honourable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.